All right, good evening, everyone. I'm back. I wanted to create a quick video really quick in response to an event that happened this evening. This has to do with the teacher interview assignment. Some of you are in Christina Santoya's methods class, and I was leaving campus tonight, and Christina ran into the hall and had explained to me that some of the students in her class, which are also the students in this class, um, were feeling a little overwhelmed or stressed or maybe even a little down about themselves in terms of the grade that they received on the teacher interview assignment. Now I know some of you are also not in her class, so that's why I wanted to create this video to clarify for all. So in terms of the teacher interview assignment, you can absolutely resubmit this assignment if you feel like you didn't get the grade that you wanted to achieve. Because for me it is truly about learning. And this is a good example for all of us to learn. Sometimes as teachers we feel like we communicated well the expectations, but for whatever reason there was a miscommunication. And in the work that we see, it was not done up to the level that we would hope to it have been done to. And that's exactly the reason why we should put in our management plan an opportunity to be able to resubmit or redo and help support our students get to the level we want them to be at. So modeling that same best practice, absolutely you can resubmit this assignment if you did not get the grade that you desired. So let me give you some feedback on what I am expecting. One more time, maybe face-to-face will help so that we can make sure that we get you, or I get you to where I need you to be. So in terms of this assignment, I wanted you to go interview a teacher. Hopefully you've learned much from that experience. And then I want you to summarize what you think was the most important things that you've learned. All of you did that perfectly. I had no qualms with the summarization of the interview section. Where I started to see in a few papers some shortcomings had to do with connecting what you learned in that interview to how that, basically making an explicit connection to what you learned in that interview to what you learned in the course throughout the text. And there's a reason for this. In that interview, you may have learned some cool ideas and some cool strategies, but if it doesn't connect to what theory has said and what research has already proven to work, then this is kind of an unsupported strategy. And I would hate for you to leave my class with this idea of, oh, well, I learned something really, really cool from this veteran teacher, and I'm going to go apply it in my classroom, and it's unsupported by theory and by research, and then it's prone to be ineffective and potentially fail. And so I really, really wanted to make sure that you say, okay, so-and-so taught me this, or I learned this from the interview, and that sounds a lot like William Glazer's theory. That sounds a lot like judicious discipline. That sounds a lot like Skinner and behaviorism. Just so that you see that this practice that they're using that may be applicable in their classroom is also connected to what theory says works. And so I really wanted to make sure that you had that ability to draw those connections. So what I was missing in some papers, and where I maybe took a few points off, were you told me like, hey, I learned so much from this interview and it really changed my thinking. I think I'm going to do things differently. That's great. But the caution and the danger there is if you start thinking, well, I'm going to do things differently, and you start maybe going down this different path that isn't supported by what you've learned in this class, which is basically supported by research. And for me, that would be a dangerous path for me to just throw you down and just to say, well, good, you did the assignment 60 out of 60, moving on, without really giving you some feedback, as hopefully a good instructor would, which I'm trying to be, and say, whoa, 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 hold on, before you start heading down that path, make sure what you're doing is supported by research. So again, if you didn't do that, please resubmit and show me that you can do that so that I know that you have that ability, because that will really be what makes you a successful classroom manager in the future. And again, I just want to apologize. I hope I didn't communicate a feeling to you that your self-worth was bad, because it's a sickening feeling. It really is. I've had those experiences where somebody, you feel like you put in the effort, you did the best job you could, and then somebody comes back and says that it's not, as good as you thought it was going to be. And then to have to even face the reality that you can't redo it is even a more sickening feeling. So I did not by any means want to do that to you. And I was already going to send an email out at the end of this week to, suggest that you could resubmit if you didn't like the grade that you got. So hope I alleviated some stress. Hope I made you feel like, okay, good. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. All of you are doing great. I just hope I was able to re-clarify that. So again, if there are any questions, please reach out to me. More than willing to keep continuing to work with you so that I can get you to be at that level that you want to be, and then at the level I definitely want you to be. So hopefully I will talk to you soon, and I will see any resubmissions if there are any. Thanks.